Hello, everybody. My name is Jay Kim, and I'm here with my research partner, Kevin Ortez. We're undergraduates from Cal State LA, and we're presenting at the Cal Poly Pomona Cybersecurity Awareness Fair. Now, let's get into it. Did you know that clicking on a Google ad can sometimes feel like opening a box of chocolates? You never know what you're going to get, except in this case, it might be a malware infection instead of a caramel-filled delight. In today's digital landscape, a single click on a Google ad can lead to unexpected dangers. Malvertising, the use of online ads to spread malware, has become a significant threat to internet users worldwide.
Exactly. Our research titled Malvertising Uncovered, the Risk of Google Click ID Exploits explores these vulnerabilities in depth. We aim to understand how cybercriminals exploit Google's ad system and the impact of these tactics on users and businesses alike. By shedding light on these issues, we hope to empower internet users with knowledge and promote individual competency in navigating the web instead of solely relying on large corporations like Google to protect us.
Right. So for the remainder of our presentation, we'll provide visual insight, get into our research methodology, the scope of the issue, and procedures that we recommend. All right, jumping into it, here's a real-life example of a sponsored ad by Google. And you would think that a sponsored ad at the top of a search engine titled Google Authenticator would lead you to google.com. However, this ad is by an advertiser named Larry Murr. He's a verified user by Google. However, it isn't a legitimate link by Google, but it's advertised by Google. And a user coming across this link likely wouldn't know from like the hidden information about the advertiser. In the third image, this is another example of a malicious ad. This ad is titled Google Maps Online. The link shows the official maps.google.com. However, if a user were to investigate the advertiser, they would think it's from Google headquarters, but they see the advertiser is not even verified and the ad originated from India. Users can easily be tricked by legitimate looking advertisements from either threat actors or even other nation states that could lead to another victim.
All right, so how did we approach Google's malvertising problem? We actually identified that the problem stems from a specific procedure in Google's search engine called Google Click ID, which is a feature that only works for sponsored content on Google's platform. So cybercriminals are basically able to register ads under legitimate URLs, bypass Google's domain check by using the default domain, or just buying and registering fresh ones, since this is easy and cheap to do, and append redirects to the ID generated when a user directly clicks on a sponsored link. These redirects lead to malicious sites where either malware is installed or information is stolen. Finally, these ads avoid being detected by implementing software that checks a user's browser fingerprint. This makes it easy to tell if the individual clicking on the link is a bot or a real person. So the real person is redirected to the fake malicious website, while Google's bots are redirected to the legitimate URL that's displayed on the search engine, and on Google's side, everything looks okay. Okay, so diving deeper into the exploit, the images provided here show a fundamental breakdown of how the scam works and something you've probably encountered in real life. A legitimate URL is displayed on a sponsored ad that appears at the top of the search engine, but when clicked, a redirect is processed, which takes the user to a website that looks exactly like the initial destination, but is a completely different URL. As we can see in the graphic, the URL that is displayed is not the actual URL that the user is directed to. On these sites, every mouse click and keyboard input are tracked. Additionally, any software downloaded on these sites is embedded with small, hard to detect data stealing viruses. This is the modern way customers are falling for identity theft and direct financial loss. But not only are customers victimized, the corporations being impersonated also suffer loss of customer trust and can even face legal ramifications. Some notable corporations that were misrepresented on Google's platform are Ravi Wallet, a cyber wallet to protect your cryptocurrency, or even a household name like Lowe's.
So now we're at the results section, and Google's efforts to combat malvertising have shown both progress and ongoing challenges. In Google's 2022 ad safety report, 5.2 billion ads were removed, 4.3 billion ads restricted, and 6.7 million advertiser accounts suspended, and other stats as well. And Google's 2023 ad safety report shows a total of 5.5 billion ads removed, 6.9 billion ads restricted, and 12.7 million advertiser accounts suspended. So this is just a close-up visual of our previous slide. As previously mentioned, there's a 5.2 total billion ads stopped in 2022 and a 5.5 billion ads that were stopped in 2023. And it shows a consistent increase year over year of the total ads stopped. And as the technology continues to increase, the total attack vector is going to get more and more complicated and harder to stop.
So, in conclusion, even large corporations like Google are fallible. But this situation is particularly dangerous because these malvertisements are pushed to the forefront of user searches. They literally appear at the top of a user's Google feed and are given a kind of stamp of approval as Google sponsors. Furthermore, the best ways to avoid these ads, primarily ad blockers, are discouraged by Google because it would directly impact their advertising revenue. Google's security measurements are currently not enough to protect their users, and the onus is on each individual to take extra precautions.
Right, and some recommendations that we found is to avoid clicking on sponsored ads by Google and instead typing the actual expected URL that you want to go to. Now, this might be tedious, but there's a argument to be made of performance over security. Second one would be checking advertiser verification status in their menu. Third would be implementing trusted browser extensions such as Malwarebytes Browser Guard or malware and URL scanners to verify every URL that you try to click. And lastly, browsing responsibly. It's the best thing you could do. All right, lastly, we just want to give our references and our acknowledgments to our Cal State LA for promoting and supporting this research. And we also want to thank our computer science and cybersecurity professors who kind of gave us the baseline tools and knowledge to kind of garner the curiosity and love for this subject.
Ciao.